Back in September, 36 teams began the Champions League phase with hopes of making a deep run in Europe. 4 teams, including Eintracht Frankfurt and tournament debutants Cairo Almaty, have already bid farewell. At the top, though, both Bayern Munich and Arsenal, they're through to the round of 16, and the Gunners can still finish 8 for 8 to secure the top seed. Behind them is 6 more automatic round of 16 places still in play, with anybody from 3rd to 18th still mathematically alive. For clubs like Dortmund, Galatasaray or Karabakh, the top 8 is possible, but avoiding elimination is the main objective, while the rest of the field, down to Ajax in 32nd place, all fight for survival. Last season, PSG, they finished in 15th place and won it all. So who knows what these last 90 minutes of the league phase will bring. Played for Arsenal, right? You're a big fan of Arsenal. Perfect situation for them right now. Even though things have got a little tight in the Premier League, in European competition, it couldn't have gone any better.
Yeah, you know, that was my initial thought, that most recent result against Manchester United. You still can't get that out your brain in terms of the Premier League. But no, perfect start for them. I think to be the only team to be unbeaten in this league phase so far, it's the perfect start for them. You can't even complain. I think the standout wins are against Bayern and Inter, obviously. So when you put in them in the top 2 places to already have big results, but we've seen it last season. Of course, it matters where you land, but we'll see where they land come the end of the season and where they're at.
Jen, from a player's perspective, do you look at Arsenal to say, right, we know how good they are, strength in depth, but do you see any weaknesses? Do you sense any weaknesses in Arsenal?
I think they're too heavily reliant still on certain players like Saka, I think, and Declan Rice. If either of those players get injured, I think that becomes a weakness. Of course, there's still the depth, and we saw so much rotation, especially tonight. But even when there's rotation, you're still conceding 2 goals against a team you shouldn't be. And I think in this point in the season, we've seen them at this point previously and it not work out where we would want to be from an Arsenal perspective. But I think defensively, they look strong. There's no denying that. I think their defensive record has got them to where they're at. That's starting to look a little bit vulnerable. We saw that against United with what I previously just said. But for me, it's up top. An out-and-out striker. I think Havertz coming back fully fit and scoring goals like that is hugely important. I think he was massively missed for a long spell. So for me, it's that number 9 position.
They got one leg in the Carabao Cup final. They finished first in the Champions League. Unbelievable accomplishment. They're first in the Premier League, but none of the competitions are done yet. And they're starting to show some cracks. Defensively, they're starting to show some cracks in who do they rely on to score goals. We were clipped up the other day talking about who scores their goals. There was not one player in the team that had more than 5.
200 win as Arsenal manager from your 326 matches in charge. It's the highest in the club history in terms of win rate. It's all looking good for you at the minute.
Well, we are, especially in this competition, the position that we wanted to be. I mean, it's so difficult to win 8 games in a row in this competition. So big credit to the boys. I think we close this chapter now till February, and we can focus now in other competitions.
The player of the match tonight, Kai Havertz, a lot of excitement to see him back, and what a first half performance. I'm sure he's someone you'll hopefully have more use of in the next few months.
Yeah, we realized straight away how much we missed him, what he brings to the team, his creativity, the way he links with people, his intuition in front of goals as well. So very, very happy to have him.
So normally you don't see that. Normally when you see the best teams, you see an Mbappe, you see a Haaland, you see a guy that goes and scores 20, 30 goals. What's that?
Could that be a good thing, that they're not overly reliant on just one player?
I don't know. If I told you that your team was going to go into a season and you were not going to have one player halfway through the season with double-digit goals, I think you'd say, man, my team's probably not going to do very well.
You want to stand out, I think.
You need a
stand out.
Congratulations on the win. What are your thoughts on the game?
That we... Yeah, obviously started well, apart from the penalty that we gave away. And then, I think we scored some nice goals, created some good opportunities to score even more. And then I think we could have done much better in the second half. We weren't playing as fast and as direct.
You need one standout person. Yeah, this can get you to a certain level or so far. Then you're going to get caught.
Starting to show some cracks, that's all I'm saying.
Well, it was a good response, wasn't it, from the loss against Manchester United last weekend, and they've got Leeds United this weekend, Grell, so we'll see how they do.
They will not win this competition. You can bring that to the bank. They will not win this competition playing the way they play. I had them first in the league phase because I think over 8 games where you can play open and play, and more teams are, sort of wired to go for it because they know they have 8 games that they were going to be at the top of the table, but in the knockout stages against teams like Arsenal and Bayern that will sit there and be organized and wait for you to make a mistake, I think those games they're going to struggle big time in.
Yeah, look, I still think they're a team that can win it, right? I know where Grella's sort of, he's going to die in this sword, right? That they're never going to win it based on the high line. But, I mean, they were minutes away last year from being the team that we were so excited about the way that they played. It's not a team I root for, right? It's a team, but I love watching. I'd rather them play that style and entertain me every week than sit back like some of the teams.
But would you still feel that way if you were a true Barca fan? Or would you,
it might be different for me, right? But I think if you know the Barca DNA, and we all do, right? The Barca DNA is never to be passive in a game. It's about to be entertaining and put people on the edge of their seat and be a team that's entertaining, scores goals, gets forward. I mean, that's what they've been built around. And look, Hansi Flick, he's got in there. I actually thought it was going to look a little bit different under him. I thought it would be a little bit more structured, but I like the fact that he's opened up the game. It's a different style to watch. If I were a Barca fan, it'd probably drive me nuts on the weekend, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the game.
It was for me. I think nobody would have put him in at the start of the season. I think he's been a credit to Liverpool, how incredible he's been, not just from a Premier League standpoint, but Champions League as well. He's been one of the best players. So.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. So then Lopez we've got in there. And then the top three is Anthony Gordon, Kylian Mbappe and Michael Olise. Gordon, we just looked at his numbers up there with Mbappe and the best of the best so far this season. Grell, the goals that he's contributed in the Champions League have far outweighed the Premier League.
The players will respond better to that. It's not easy to win a domestic title. So I've got to give him credit to that, because many managers try their entire life and they can't even finish in the top four. So that is it. But for the European side of stuff, getting into that next level, I don't think it reads too well. So I wouldn't really say it's a blemish in his record, because he doesn't really have a great record where you look at him like that.
The best finish for him is to a quarterfinal with Juventus in all the times he's been in Champions League. And half the times he's been in Champions League, his team doesn't qualify to the playoff, to the knockout stages. So that's a really, really poor record for someone with his pedigree, for someone that wins that many domestic
Champions League campaign is gathering serious momentum, and the so-called European giants are starting to feel the pressure. After flawless performances against Bayern Munich and Inter, the Gunners remain perfect in the UCL, raising a huge question across Europe: are cracks finally showing, or are Arsenal simply on another level? Mike Grella and Jen Beattie dive deep into the tactical control, fearless mentality, and big game composure that have turned Arteta's side into genuine contenders on the biggest stage. From defensive discipline to ruthless finishing, this run feels different. Grella highlights how Arsenal are no longer just competing, they're dictating games, while Beattie praises the leadership, structure, and belief flowing through the squad. With confidence sky high and momentum firmly on their side, Arsenal's perfect UCL run is sending a clear warning to Europe: this team isn't here to participate, they're here to win.